I did want to start with talking about a little bit of positive about your parents, and not necessarily the inspiration for the book, but their life outside of, the negative and horrible experiences they had. And so I know you touched on your dad a little bit outside of those situations, but talk about both parents, if you will, and who they were.
Okay, it's great. That's a great point. My dad had a great upbringing as a kid. He was a spoiled kid, and we clearly talk about that in the book, and then suddenly put into forced labor camp. They really struggled the first 20, 30 years of their lives on and off because of all the nature of the anti-Semitism and the persecution. So I'm not a big into entitlement, but if anybody deserved to have a better life, the second half of their life would be my mom and dad. It was harrowing even after they left Europe. They made it and met my mom's father in New York. Pretty easy throughput to get to Providence, Rhode Island. Dad did his OBGYN residency, which was a struggle. Mom was a med student when they left Hungary, and she had to work in a lab doing research while my dad had to redo his OBGYN residencies because somebody had to pay the bills, the rent. And Boston, as you know, is not a cheap city, and I imagine it wasn't in the 50s and 60s. Finally, he finished that, and they came to Detroit where the jobs were, and life really got better for them at first. Actually, his first job was in Detroit proper, but by 1965 they could foresee the urban blight that was coming on, the trouble, the crime, and my dad happened to get a good job offer out in suburbia, so he took that. But and I'm sure that must have scared the heck out of him because of everything else they went through. Or on the other hand, maybe they just weren't afraid of anything because of all they've been through. So hard to know. I can't get into their heads now because they both passed, unfortunately. But they were Holocaust educators. My dad loved his work. He would have worked till the day he died, and mom was busy. She was one of the leaders in ORT, which is a Jewish organization. They were busy in they were well received in the Jewish community, the medical community, and let's call it the Eastern European American community. They were the type of people, and I'm trying to draw off that same page that instead of shunning each other and abandoning each other, they like to embrace and engage with other people and find out about their backgrounds, where they're from, the politics were in their countries if they were from a foreign country, and they love to educate not only about the Holocaust but also history, and they were very well-rounded people. I'm well-rounded, I guess, in a different way. I'm more like jazz and rock and fusion, but they were classical and jazz. It didn't matter as long as you had musical appreciation. They loved the opera, they loved museums, they loved to travel, they were big into education, theater, yeah, music, you name it. So they were open, and they were foodies too, by the way. I guess that's where I got it from.